Oh, hi, my name is Floralina Giamatti. I go to Muse School Virtual Remote, and they have a passion project there, and that I work on all year, and mine is the VOYNICH manuscript.
Can I ask you questions, or are you just asking me questions?
Yeah, both.
Okay, this is Floralina. This is my niece, and this is Mark.
Hi, Floralina.
Hi.
I want to make clear before we go any further with this that I am not an expert on the VOYNICH manuscript. Anything I say may not be entirely accurate. Mark may know more than me about it. So,
But you've touched the VOYNICH.
I have actually handled it at one time in my life, but I have held it in my hands, but I'm not an expert. I just want to be clear about that.
Great. I have questions for you guys.
Cool. Great.
Excellent.
Yeah, so the first question I have is, how long did it take you to go through the whole book?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I don't really remember, but it took a while. And I was surprised because Mark and I were trying to see it recently, right? And we can't see it. Is that right, Mark?
It's very, very restricted now. They will only allow, there's so many requests, I think, to see it that they're very careful on who they actually allow to see it. They really want real scholars.
A guy stole a bunch of stuff from that library recently. So I think that, or not that recently, but in the last 15 years.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So, I mean, I went and got it. I did it twice. They gave it to me. I would think it was a couple hours. I think they let us look at it for a couple hours, and we flipped every page. It's long, actually. And so it took a couple hours, I would think.
What about you?
Well, I haven't actually handled the book, but I've sort of scrolled through it. Obviously, I haven't read it. You can't read it. Yeah. So I've looked at every page and just scrolled through basically on the internet where you can
look at it online. You look at it
on archive.org.
It's cool.
But yeah, I've spent over the years, I've spent many hours pondering, looking at it.
Yeah, I have done the same thing.
Yeah.
I have another question. What did the paper feel like and how thin it was?
It was thick feeling, because it's vellum, which is skin. It's actually animal skin. Is it goat? Calf skin? And it's heavy actually, and it's kind of thick, and it's really smooth feeling. It doesn't feel like paper. And the book itself is really thick because the pages are so thick. So it's really like, it's funny. And I feel like there may even be like hair from the calf still in some parts of it. Like it didn't totally get all the hair taken off of it. And like you can still see like remnants of what the animal was like and stuff on it. It's weird.
One side would be the inside, and then the other side of the paper is the skin side. So they probably have hairs on one side.
I think so, yeah. And then I don't know how they treat it. I don't know how they did that with that kind of stuff, but it's smooth feeling. It's thick skin.
How long ago did you see it?
About 30 years ago, 30 some years ago.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I'm old, Flo.
Wow.
I'm really, really old, but Mark is older.
By 1 month, yes.
But it was about 30 years ago. And I guess 30 years ago was much easier to see. It wasn't a big deal to see it.
Yeah. And then I have a question that says, what do you think it all means?
I think it's aliens.
Yeah, I thought.
Do you really? Do you think it's aliens? I'm going to be curious what you think. I don't know. I will ask Mark, what do you think it is? What do you think it means?
I don't know. I don't know, because it's hard to really believe it's an actual plant botany book because the flowers aren't real, right? I mean,
some of them are real plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of them are called Indian sky flower plants. I don't know how to on that.
And they think some of them are plants from America, don't they?
Yeah, the sky flower plants are
right.
I actually, for my project thing, I was gonna plant those flowers.
Oh,
that's genius.
You should do that and see how similar it is. Yeah,
that's a great idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, there's also like blanket flowers in there and stuff, which is cool.
Amazing. It is impossible to know.
I mean, I think it might have been a hoax. I mean, there is one theory. It's tied up with this Anastasius Kircher, that this Renaissance thinker and magician who I think was very proud that he could solve anything. So maybe one theory is that I think someone created it to sort of stymie him.
To trick him, yeah.
Or, you know, but maybe that's a lot of work to go through, and it's so beautiful. I think it's
right.
It's so
he's a
beautiful.
guy. That guy Mark's talking about is a guy who thought he figured out what the hieroglyphics, the Egyptian hieroglyphics meant, but he was wrong the whole time. But he thought he figured it out. So some people think that somebody created this to trick him, to be like, here, smart guy, now tell me what this means. And it's like, so some people think it's a hoax. Some people think it's a botany thing. I always think those little women in the tubs and stuff must have something to do with alchemy. Do you know what alchemy is? Flo?
Yeah.
There was this idea that you could turn something worthless like lead into gold or something, and they look like alchemical symbols to me, those little women, but I don't know. And there's astrological stuff. I think it's more, I don't know that it's a hoax, but I think it's more somebody's kind of crazy work of art. I think it's somebody, like, it meant something to this person and they weren't trying to trick anybody with it, but it's such a weird private thing that we aren't ever going to know what it is, because it's some sort of work of art that somebody did.
Yeah. I also think it was weird that the Wilford Voynich guy was like a pharmacist, and there's medicines in the back. So I also think it means that like maybe he wrote it, and I also think it's showing the circle of life. Like, it's like, say us humans started out as a plant, and then it was like this, but we came from the stars, and then it was showing how like we can
return back to the stars and stuff like that. That's cool.
I was thinking it could almost be by plants, you know, like that they spoke through the person and had their own language or something, you know, and this is their point of view.
The plants wrote it. That's a good, I mean, the crazy thing is so many people, some people think it could be an Asian language. Some people think it could be an Arab language. Some people think it could be Aztec. It's like it could be anything. But the hoax thing about Voynich doing it, I think people did think for a long time, and I think they think that maybe he hoaxed some stuff in it, but I do think that they figured out that it's actually from the time period, and the ink and everything is from the time period, and so he probably didn't fake it.
And the style of drawing and everything is consistent.
Other thing I think is interesting is they think a bunch of different people did it too.
Yeah, because there was different handwriting.
Yeah.
Carbon dating, they could tell people did it. It's actually written in like 17 different languages or something.
What they think could be 17 different things. That's cool.
Oh.
I was also going to ask you, what language do you think it is? I always thought it was like a form of Hebrew, because that's what it kind of like.
It definitely seems. Yeah. I mean, they do say that just by looking at the patterns, that it seems to be a real language, like a natural language that's spoken, not a fake created language. But there were many languages that are forgotten, that were sort of splinter languages, versions of German and Asian languages, and that are old and forgotten. I mean, so it's quite mysterious.
Could be one of those. I think that, like I said, there's some people who think it could be related to Chinese, and some people who think it could be related to Arabic. And again, I'm not so sure that I don't think it's something called graphomania or glossolalia, which is this kind of like, it's not a mental derangement or something, but it's this kind of compulsion to just keep writing these things, and it doesn't even need to mean anything to us. There's a part of me that wonders if it isn't something like that.
But there's 7 different scribes.
Right, exactly. Then so what makes that not likely is there's all these different people wrote it. So it probably isn't that.
Yeah. Also,
or it's an alien language. Or it's space.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought it was, or a lost culture. But Yeah, but in alien.
Atlantis or something.
Yeah. I read somewhere that it says, is it true that 40 pages are missing out of it?
I guess so, right, Mark? I think there are pages missing.
I believe so, and it's also pretty sure that the cover is not the original, and that it's been rearranged many times because books like that are made of little pamphlets, you know.
Oh, so you could actually rearrange
like that? Yeah.
That looks great.
You have an original.
That looks really good. It really looks like the stuff. It looks really great. That's interesting because what if one of the pages that's missing is the key to the whole thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's smart thinking. Yeah.
Just suck. Yeah, I'm not a stupid guy. I'm not the stupid. But that would be interesting. The other thing I didn't know about it is that, which I was reading about it last night, is that there's actually little bits of Latin in it. Like there are a couple of things that they can sort of understand. And there's a guy's signature in it, which I know.
Yeah.
But they think maybe Voynich faked the signature.
And the Latin is gibberish Latin. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I always thought also, like, because it was King Rudolph bought it, I maybe thought it had something to do with it, because I think King Rudolph was murdered or something. But because maybe it was the people who like wanted to kill him for something, so they wrote a weird book to give to him to confuse him.
To drive him nuts,
to make him crazy, to drive him mad. Is that how?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Or maybe
there's a theory that Jonathan Dee wrote it. You know, who was this famous magician, sort of dark magic practitioner, and Queen Elizabeth's spy.
Like Queen Elizabeth's, kind of he served, and they think him and a guy named Edward Kelly, who was called a necromancer, a guy who could speak with the dead and see the future, who was, they think, kind of a con man, Edward Kelly. So it's like, but they think maybe even Roger Bacon wrote it, who was also the kind of famous genius guy.
Oh yeah.
He ciphered a lot, and there's a great sci-fi book about him called Dr. Mirabilis.
Yeah, book about him.
I love that book.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also had a question that, where do you think that it was lost for 300 years and also very weird?
Always the Jesuits. It always comes back to the Jesuits. Back to the Vatican. That's interesting. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't know it disappeared for a while. That's eerie.
But books do that. They find books that have been lost for centuries. Still, they find them in monasteries in Italy or in some old library that nobody realized this lost book is there the whole time, you know? And so books can sneak through time like that.
So potentially there's another book out there like this, or the key to this book.
That's what I'm thinking. That maybe that key Paul mentioned.
Maybe there's another
collection.
Yeah. Maybe there's another book out there that's the key to this, and they just have to find it. It's being hidden by the Jesuits.
But I don't think we'd like that. I don't know.
No, I don't want to figure it out.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I am. What do you think the astrological and zodiac signs mean?
Well, I don't know. Are they real ones? Are they accurate, or are they kind of made up too?
I think it's both. There's some of some. Some are real and some are confusing.
I don't know. That stuff is beautiful in the book.
It is, yeah.
Some of it, you unfold. It's really cool.
And this Kircher guy did these beautiful maps and stuff himself. He was like an amazing graphical artist.
So I just made slides showing taking pictures of.
Do you make up your own language?
No, well, I just kind of wrote like that.
Okay, you did their language.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Those are awesome. Those are really great.
That's like the real thing. It's actually
it really looks like it. It's awesome.
I think you made the voice.
I know. I think you did it. Totally. Clearly you did it. Those are great.
You definitely
How did you do this, Floralina? Is it just on regular kind of drawing paper? Or?
I got this kind of paper that looks like burnt kind of around the edges. Whoops. And it's like soft.
It's great. It's cool.
Yeah, the front cover is like parchment.
Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah. Oh, there's that one I just showed.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so weird. All the little like queens and the weird tubs and stuff. Are
Yeah.
really strange.
Oh, that's actually this one is.
That's
really
the weirdest
there you
part
go.
of it
Yeah,
to me. That's the weirdest stuff in it to me. Is the weird like pipes connecting the tubs and so it's
Yeah.
just really weird.
They're
And
weird, like organic machinery.
Yeah, and is there anything else in any other
Look at
manuscript?
that. That's really well
That's
done. I love
awesome.
it.
Is there anything else in any other manuscript that looks like that? The weird little women in the tubs, like
Oh,
is
like
it-
that. It almost looks like they like fall down
Yeah.
a tube.
yeah, it's like a Dr. Seuss thing or something too, and it's like it's so crazy looking.
Sometimes I think of the little people because Paul and I knew a woman in Ireland who saw a little person, a fairy.
Fairies.
And
Yeah,
she said it was a little woman,
yeah, that's
like
right.
a queen, or
You're right. I'd never thought that they're like fairies, like they're little like fairies like
because
that.
they're all about plants too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
that
you
one's
do-
really cool.
Did you do every page?
Oh, well, not every page. I only did like 29 pages.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It took me a
That's
while.
awesome.
well, you must have gotten some insight in how they made the book.
It's true,
Really?
actually. It's like it's really cool. That's awesome, Floralina. Nice. Really
Well
nice.
done, really well done. I also like your wall paint.
Yeah, the
behind
thing
you.
the collage you made is really great too.
Yeah. Pretty inspiring to you, I guess.
Yeah, it is. That's right behind me. If you can, yeah, you
Yeah.
can see it. I made a whole poster about it.
Yeah,
Because
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, I had this one question.
Yeah.
Who do you think wrote it?
Again, man, I don't know. I mean, it's like
Well, they always say definitely not Roger Bacon because the paper was later. But what if he had written a manuscript and they copied it? Or
Oh, that's true.
because it was
Yeah.
copied, it seems
People
like.
did do that
Yeah.
all the time. They copied those things. All the theories about who wrote it always have a problem to them. There's something that isn't quite convincing. So it's like I just don't think we're gonna know. I mean, it's like I wonder if we'll ever know. I don't know. I'd like to think it was aliens. I still want to think that it was aliens brought it down in a ship. in a
Well,
space-
Kircher wrote some of the first sci-fi books where I think he wrote A Voyage to Mars.
Oh, really? Kircher wrote science fiction. Do they think he maybe wrote it? Anthony?
No, I don't know, but I'm just saying it was science fiction at that time. So maybe someone wrote it as a kind of artistic fictional world of this. I don't know, you
Yeah.
know, not out of insanity, but out of a kind of
Art, like an
thinking
artistic-
about aliens and stuff. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard about the Dogon, Floralina?
What is that?
It's a group in Africa that have known about the existence of the double star system Sirius, and for centuries, way before anybody had telescopes or knew about it. And so it's always been a mystery how these people who had no kind of technology like that knew that Sirius was 2 stars and not just 1. And so a lot of people think that, and the Dogon have all this mythology that they had contact with people from outer space. And so it's this whole sort of theory about that, which is always interesting. I don't know why I'm blaming the Dogon. The Dogon, D-O-G-O-N.
I think there's a drawing in the Voynich manuscript of arms around a circle or something that some people think is a galaxy. That also you couldn't see without a telescope.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, at that time.
Do you have the book that was signed or written or whatever by?
You know, I somewhere I have it. Did I ever tell you this, Mark?
I don't know.
I have a book that was written by Voynich about Roger Bacon, I think, and the cipher and everything. I actually, it's funny, and he signed it. His signature's in the front of it. It's in this apartment somewhere, but I really
That house, look at it. That's just that's like the clean room, I think, Paul.
Yeah, this is the most organized room.
Yeah.
I have a hard time finding it, but I'll see if I can find it. I'll look for it, because if I can find it, I'll send you pictures of it.
No, where did you even get that?
It's funny. You know Liz, who Sam's mom, her great aunt or something died. And this was a long time ago, and we had to go, and somebody, her father or something said, they say you can go to her apartment. She had a bunch of books. You can take some books if you want. And so in her library, Liz's great aunt's library, there was this book, which was weird. I don't know why.
That's proof Roger Bacon wrote it.
Totally.
That's just
Totally. So I don't know why she had that book, but that's where I got it. So it was really random that I came. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The other weird thing is that Paul and I last week were trying to talk to the Beinecke Library that holds the Voynich manuscript, and we're negotiating with them about getting to see it. And then you wrote to him.
And all of a sudden, you
out of the blue about the Voynich manuscript.
Coincidence is crazy. It was a really weird coincidence because Mark and I were trying to see it.
And it is a magical book, supposedly.
It is magical.
Like,
yeah. It was really cool.
Weird.
Why do you guys want to see it?
I mean, it's cool to hold the actual thing in your hand. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think also Mark and I are just interested in this stuff.
We do a podcast called Bibliomania.
We also do this podcast.
We're book maniacs.
Yeah, where we talk about books.
And this is the one, I think I was looking up the world's most mysterious books. This is the world's most mysterious book, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other things that they're not sure who wrote them, but they're nothing on the level of this, where it's just unsolved mystery, but also so beautiful and like such a work of art.
Mark was telling me when he was asking if we could see it, that the head librarian was like, every week they get so many crazy people claiming they've cracked the code who want to see the book. She was like, it's just constant.
And they send them their explanations
maniacally. Yeah. I've been talking to a guy that maybe I can hook you up with, Floralina, but he, when I contacted him first, I couldn't get him, but there was a list of like, if you have questions, I'm not in the office right now, but here's all you can click on these things to get different answers. Like if you want to see the Gutenberg Bible, which is the first printed Bible, if you want to see this or that. And one of the things is, if you think you've cracked the Voynich code, click here. Click here and you can talk to this person who clearly has to deal with all the crazy people.
What a job that guy.
Yeah, who have to. Anyway.
That's actually that's funny.
It was very funny. Yeah, I think they must get a lot of crazy people who think they've cracked it, or not so crazy people who think they've cracked it too.
Yeah, and probably maybe one of them has, and they just ignored it. You know?
Yeah, I'd like to come to you guys' like podcasting. It sounds cool.
Well, I'm hoping that you might be on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe we can use this.
One of the reasons I'm recording it.
With your permission.
With your permission. Oh dear.
Oh man, she has to talk to her agent.
What else? Is there more? Do you want to talk more about it? Is there more? Do you want to? I want to ask you some things though.
Okay.
What was it? How did you find out about it? And what made you interested in it?
Well, there's how I really actually found out about it is I watched this thing called, I watch it like all the time. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's on an app called Epic. It's called Colossal Mysteries.
Awesome.
It's about like Area 51 and
just like your uncle.
I know, it's like that's all the stuff and Mark's into this stuff too. Yeah, so Area 51.
Oh, like Area 51.
Oh dear.
It's like there's like sightings of aliens, the Loch Ness monster.
Sure.
Yeah, and all that kind of things.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so this was on there?
Yeah, and it was just saying like, did aliens write it and stuff like that, and all the theories and things. Yeah, it's actually really cool.
It is cool. That's really awesome.
It's so great to have something that's unsolved, you know?
Yeah. I was going to say, would you be happy if it got solved?
No, not really. I'd like to know who did it, but then I wish I could go back in time and then just, okay, I know who I did it. Now I can crack the code. And
I kind of, I hope it always kind of stays a mystery.
Yeah, because
I hope nobody ever really.
Yeah, if somebody actually finds out the code, then it kind of like takes out the fun in it, I guess.
Yeah. all of a sudden it'll be boring too. You'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, it is about.
It's like when they took the picture of the squid, the giant squid. Finally, it was so depressing. I like just thinking it was there.
It's kind of a disappointment. I know. Yeah,
but it was a good imagery. But
that was cool, but it is
Yeah,
like disappointing because nobody had ever seen one,
yeah,
or not alive, and nobody had ever
that's
taken.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But like how I got doing this project is because in our school we have a passion, like, and I have to study something all year long.
But you have
That's cool.
Yeah, but I have to incorporate like social studies, history,
Oh yeah.
and science in it. And so
And alchemy.
I was gonna do like Area 51, but then I was like, wait.
I think this is a better one.
It
'Cause you-
contains more things. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get all of that history, and you can get everything in this, even
Yeah.
better than Area 51.
Yeah, so I had to incorporate like math in it and science.
Uh-huh.
So math, hold on, let me. Yeah, I did fractals though.
Really?
Cool.
For like the leaves and the plants and
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow. Yeah.
That's cool. That's smart. Yeah.
Did you
there's-
find a lot of fractals in there?
well, yeah, because there's like some of them are like a lot of them actually are succulents. So
Okay.
there's different fractals in them. And then for science,
That's really a new discovery right there.
I know.
I'm doing it on Tuesday. I'm going to try to make the paints that how they made them.
Oh,
Sure.
good idea. Yeah.
That's a real way that they can figure out maybe where it was done or like when it was done,
Yeah.
like certain kinds of things in the paint, which is really cool.
And it's weird. The paints were like alchemy in those days. You had to be a scientist a little bit to be a painter. You know,
Yeah.
it's
It's
that's,
chemistry.
the book captures how at that time, art, science, religion, bathing were all one. You know, it's just it's strange.
It covers a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
like, yeah, I'm gonna make them on Tuesday, and I'm gonna make them out of organic foods.
So
Yeah,
cool.
I have to present it,
Really awesome.
teach everything I did. But these are slides that I have made on it.
Yeah. Oh wow, amazing. Wow, awesome. Look at that.
Paints.
A lot of research, man. This is awesome.
And
Wow.
the fractal things I've done.
That's really cool. This is see, there's so much in this book. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
I also did this. Wait, hold on, sorry.
Uyghur.
There,
Uyghur.
that's why I thought it was Hebrew because it looks so
Oh yeah.
It does. You're right. But yeah, that's really cool. Uyghur. That's amazing.
yeah.
Because I think there are definitely people who think it's some kind of Eastern language.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's cool. Yiddish. That's awesome.
These are all about the plants, like the sky flowers and stuff. And then
How cool if they're like made up plants though. That's so weird.
I
That
know.
is so strange. It is like an alien
Or
botany.
alien plants
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
So strange.
I did this whole page about Wilford Voynich,
Uh-huh.
Oh, there he is.
ran the largest rare book business in the world.
That's true. I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, and let's see.
But he was a con man too, right? In some
Yeah.
ways, or yeah.
So yeah, the famous Rudolph Emperor II
Yeah.
purchased it from a secret sales.
Yeah, from John D. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And Rudolph was all into like alchemy and stuff like that. He was like super into all that kind of stuff. Magic, alchemy.
That was the great time for it. All that, like,
Yeah.
the Wilford Voynich, he died. He had the manuscript until he died in 1930. He died of lung cancer at age, I think it was 64.
Uh-huh.
Wife, Ethel Voynich.
Oh, yeah. She sold it to another guy who gave it to Vine.
Have you?
Got
You
to,
can-
Beinecke from H.P. Krause. He was also a rare book
You
dealer.
got to. Sometime you got to go to the Beinecke Library. You got to
Yeah,
get you the Beinecke
Actually-
Library.
we stood in front of it.
Yeah. It's a cool place.
Yeah, I didn't even know about this. And
It's
that's
super cool.
I
It-
wanna-
it's built to withstand a nuclear war. So
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like a vault inside that can be
Super
protected
safe.
from any disaster.
Super safe. It's
The
like
Voynich manuscript will
we'll
survive.
survive. We'll survive.
Just to perplex the future.
Totally.
Yeah, I guess.